know you ain't from around here if you wave at somebody and they don't wave back. There's a problem with that. No, look at this. This is flooded here. I've seen it across the road twice. But this is from, there's the river. It's come back up this Beaver Slough Pond marsh right here, and it's flooded on the other side of the road. That's a lot of water. We got rain last night, boys. Mother of God. Male, he's pretty. See right here, here's the color that's on that.
Yep.
So that's the color of the antlers after they start rubbing it up. And you probably do, it probably does smell. But he's also come back, because you can see this is white. So he's hit this a couple times. Like early this morning, he broke these off on there. So they start rubbing up on these antlers, or on these western red alder. And that is why their antlers get beautifully orange brown. They're just really a cool color. The plan was the plan was evolving because we were going to go over here about 10 miles and go in, but the road behind us has the probability of washing out. Oh no. We're not doing that. Looking at how much this has dropped and what the width is left for driving over. And the wind and the rain on this side of the island is quite substantial compared to what it was on the east side of the island. So we're going to probably work our way back to the east a little bit and not go down into the creek we were going to go into because it's not going to be pretty over there. So the plan is to find a deer. And the best habitat we could find it in, call it in, and have you shoot it. It's a simple plan.
It is a
simple plan. They said, what, 45 to 50 knot winds today, and I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. It poofed my beard. You've got to have your beard poofed. I know. I don't use, that's why I use conditioner a lot on my beard. That's cool. So after this forest was logged, you had the flush of growth that came up, and you had just like hundreds of stems to the acre. This like a thicket of vegetation. So it was all natural regeneration out of the forest floor. At somewhere between 15 and 20 years, the foresters set up a contract and they come in and they remove 90% of that and leave a certain spacing somewhere between 12 to 20 feet between the trees. That releases these trees to grow faster. You'll see the year that they thinned this, all of a sudden the tree growth is double. So there's no, the competition is greatly removed. The problem is that it leaves, we saw like 6 to 8 feet of slash where that stuff has fallen. So this is all decomposed since this was thinned, and we're left with the stems. If you go to walk across there, it won't bear your weight anymore, and they're rotted to that point. In another 10 to 20 years, you can walk right across this. And so this is what we call the amount of light that's not getting in is called stem exclusion phase. And so you have a canopy that is so thick that you just don't get enough light to the forest floor to grow the forbs and the bushes and brush and stuff.
The stems are excluding the sunlight.
Yeah, so pre-commercial is before you would come in and do a commercial harvest, you go in and thin it. But of course the challenge is now we've got so many acres of this on the landscape that this is really good thermal cover, but there is no forage. So if you have a deer, if this is available to deer around the margins of habitat, then they can come into here when it snows hang out and go eat somewhere else. But if this is the majority of the landscape and the deer get trapped in here, then they die.
Yeah.
So when we were out here doing the reindeer filming, we went into these stands with Sophie. And of course, Sophie did her thesis on the habitat was being used by the deer. And we had big conversations about this second growth and how this second growth, or this stem exclusion phase, or this older second growth that doesn't allow light to come in, how that's dominant on the landscape and what that means habitat-wise. And so basically, it's compressing the deer into smaller and smaller good habitat blocks. Even though this is great thermal cover, well, that also compresses the predators, both us and the wolves and the bears and everything that feeds on those deer into those same areas. And so like the human interactions with predators is increasing on the landscape because it's getting a smaller percentage of the landscape that is really that primo habitat. So this could be, if this was treated as a wildlife treatment, you come in and you remove some trees and you leave some trees and stuff like that and get some light in here, maybe a few patch openings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It could become really good habitat and produce some second growth wood for manufacture. So there are opportunities out here to do some things like this. It's just the industry and stuff is just kind of catching up with that. The Tongass is trying to transition to second growth, but the industry is slightly lagging behind.
It's amazing, these stumps. I expect to feel wood, and I feel like sponge.
It's all decomposing. So compare and contrast this, we'll go down to where we have an unharvested karst forest on the other side of the bridge, and we'll walk into that. It looks a little different. This is a block of limestone forest, so it's a karst forest. It's unharvested. We can take a look at what this habitat looks like compared to where we were just at in the second growth. It's also a great bedding area, and it's right on the edge of a feeding area, so we're going to go over to the edge and call. And 2 nights ago, looking on the LiDAR, the laser-generated topography, I found there should be a cave entrance right over there taking a creek. So we were talking about water processing on the landscape, so we're going to kind of roll that all into Jim getting a really big buck in the old growth near the cave. This is our plan. That's what our goal is. So, cave, buck, great old fourth forest. All right, this is it right here. The raven agrees. That's a good sign, see? We can go down there and go skinny dip and go look, you ought to.
I wondered if you had scuba gear, just a snorkel.
So we were talking about light values and what that does with forage and stuff. And so here we've had a big spruce fall over, and it's opened up the canopy just enough that there's just a swath of blueberry and forage and stuff. And so this becomes like a major feeding area in the forest. And it's that diversity and multiple canopy heights and stuff that gives this the value as habitat. So I'm not sure who set this up. It was done a multitude of years ago, probably 8 years ago. This was a wildlife prescription, wildlife-centric prescription to create forage in this second growth and see if we can put deer on the landscape. And you can see here, there's like quite a few deer piles around in here where they've been nibbling in here. And so there was somewhere over 80 trail cameras. And Sophie Gilbert and her crew and a group of grad students and stuff monitored this for a year. We did multiple transects through here in the snow early in the spring and picked up fresh pellet groups to try to get an estimate of the population on the landscape, both in treated landscape and non-treated landscape, until we could compare were there more deer here than there, basically. That there was way more deer in this stuff, which is not surprising at all.
Right.
They're going to take advantage of the habitat opportunities. So the hard thing is, how do you do this? Make it economic for forestry and beneficial for wildlife. What leaf did I put it under?
This is the leftover bits from last night's dinner. I know we have a huge bowl.
Wait a minute. We'll do the ladle. Look at here. Oh, look at all that meat. Venison stew.
Well, we're having venison stew. And the deal with the venison stew is it's all the leftover bits from last night's roast that we're gonna be eating, mixed together with potatoes, carrots, celery, and I put okra in there too. I like okra in my stew.
It's eye of Newton, toe of frog, wool of bat, and tongue of dog.
I made bread as well. This is the New York Times no-knead bread recipe. And that's it. We're gonna have stew and bread for dinner.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be very exciting. I'm gonna let you live in anticipation.
So does this mean things are getting serious when the Hawken comes out?
Absolutely. This was just practice stuff up to now. So I found that after a shot, this gives you a moment to calm down, because you have plenty of time before you're going to shoot again. All right, let's go have fun. Look at the deer tracks. If we got out of the car and walked a few hundred yards and I blew on a call and a buck ran in, it wouldn't be anything. See? Just like this all the way along here. Tons of bedding spots in here. Incredible amount of forage. That's the plan if they read the script. This is the edge. This is that habitat that they just browse. All the super feeding stuff. Then they work down and they just drop off and bed down onto here. What's that? No, we are. We're just getting there. We're just getting in there. I can kill it. Jim, can I kill it? Yeah. Roar. Roar. That was a huge 4-point. Huh? I had a perfect shot at him. He was about that wide. He was really a big 4-point. That's how it's supposed to work. He was that wide. About that tall. He had big eye guards. Really nice buck. He ducked under a bush and he came out and he went like that and then he just backed up. And that would explain if he hit our wind curtain coming down that draw, like a cold air sinking going down that draw. The wind's blowing this way anyhow. I couldn't figure out why he didn't come on around that corner. We'll go find a bigger one.
I saw that doe and then I saw another deer behind. And I thought it was a buck at first. And then I could see the size that it was a fawn.
Almost 2 o'clock, which means we want to start back for the truck at 3 o'clock. We got an hour and 15 minutes.
That's enough.
Oh yeah. At least we're finding deer. Until you find a deer trail going that way. That was cool.
Yeah.
She was so pretty.
I thought that's a buck. He just stormed in.
Well, I think we ought to hike over the hill and start back down towards the truck, as we're losing our daylight rapidly. I said that was 5 does and a monster buck and a wonderful walk.
And a fawn.
And a fawn.
Count that as
I did not count that. Yep. Anticipation building yet.
It is. It is. You're a master.
That's right.
The anticipation.
We've only been, what, hunting 2.5 days? Yeah, 2.5
Yeah.
days, something like that kind of.
First 2 days were tough with a lot of rain. Had one good solid day.
Massive buck. It was huge.
Every time we sit down and call, though, it's a new ball game.
Oh, I know it.
Just anything show up.
Pebble in the pond, I tell you. That the ripple mark goes out and you don't know how it's going to come back. Wonderful day. Oh my gosh, it was pretty.
Like the song.
We're going to go home and have, my wife has got an incredible dinner prepared for tonight.
Veggies from the garden.
Ready
shrimp
from the
the
garden,
ocean.
shrimp from the sea. So what do you think of Southeast?
I'm just excited. It's great. This kind of hunting of just walking through openings like that, where anything can happen at any moment, I love that. Just absolutely love that.
Just the anticipation every time you sit down to call.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you've got a whole new thing you're looking at, a whole new set of ears down there, hopefully, that's paying attention.
Yep. I've sat in tree stands for days on end, and I've glassed for days on end. This is really fun.
Yeah, I know it. Tomorrow, we're going to go from the anticipation phase to the execution phase.
We have to. We will. That's why we got a whole week hunt.
I know. So this is technically day 3.
It is.
Technically day 3. All right.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Thanks for watching, in the words of a great man.
When you are choosing your Alaskan man, you have to make sure that they know how to hunt and provide, and they have all their teeth and a good job. So that's the criteria. So this is parsley out of my greenhouse. It's very critical. We don't get enough vegetables around here, so. Probably real jambalaya doesn't have parsley, but I had beautiful parsley in the greenhouse and I thought it needed to go on here. So we're gonna go set this on the table now. Have your homemade bread. We have your jambalaya with shrimp and andouille and green salad. The zucchini and tomatoes are out of the greenhouse.